And I remember it was at 5 months. We woke up that day. I prepared my husband. He went to work. And when he went, I think around 11 a.m., my son started developing some, fever, because I think the gum was really swollen. So I think he was about to teeth.
Yes.
So I didn't, and mind you, I was married at a very young age.
How old were you?
By then now I was going 22.
Okay.
Yeah. And me, I called the dad and I told, I think now Dominion, he's not behaving well.
Right.
And I explained what I was able to identify. So what the dad told me, he told me, can you take the baby to a nearby clinic? So that is what I did.
Yeah.
We went to a nearby clinic where we were staying back in Nakuru then. And I took my baby to the doctor. So after the examination from the doctor gave my son 2 injections. And I think he will allow me to go back kidogo, because before then, like a week, not a week, days, it was on a Sunday.
Yeah.
We went to church. We had another branch at somewhere called Odeon. We had gone for a Sunday service with my son and my hubby. And after the service, we realized the mother had come for service that day with a friend of hers. And she called my hubby and told my hubby, there is the brother, we call it in Kikuyu Moiru, I don't know how to put it in a language that people will be able to understand. But the brother had a sick child who was admitted in a nearby hospital. So,
your hubby's brother?
Yes.
Okay, so your brother-in-law?
And my brother-in-law.
Okay.
Yeah, so the mother was like, why haven't you gone to see, so-and-so's son who is admitted? And because we also had no good relationship with the family, the brother-in-law's family, because of the issue that I don't like sharing them on air. So my hubby told my mom, you understand why my family and my brother's family, we are not comfortable going to the hospital. We have no issue with the child, but you know the issues. So the mother became so hostile. By then we are walking towards the hospital. So they started arguing with the son until we were in the hospital gate. So me, I stood aside, and the mother became so hostile to a point she took my son from my hands and she quoted words that I will never forget up to date. And she said, I will try to interpret it in Swahili. She said, huyu wenu hawezi gonjeka alale mahali kama hapa na akose kutoboa. Those were the words. And it was so painful to hear some words coming from a parent. So my hubby, because of that, he went inside and saw the son. I left my son with the mother now. I went now to pick matatu. I go home. So my hubby didn't take long. He came, took our son, found me at the stage. We went home.
Yeah.
And those words really crushed our spirit, especially coming from a parent, and you cannot tell why. So that was on Sunday.
Right.
Now on Wednesday, that is when my son now developed fever and everything. So when I took the baby to the doctor, after examination, the doctor gave him 2 injections. And I asked the doctor, can you maybe help me understand what is the purpose of these 2 injections?
Yes.
And the doctor told me, I have realized, I think the boy has signs to do with malaria and the fever is too high. So that is why I have given him 2 injections. And mind you, because they are gifted in that, so I waited maybe for my son to get better. But after like 20-30 minutes, my boy became worse. And I asked the doctor, Kwani, what has happened? So it's like he was also shaken. He asked me, where do you live? I told him I live in your neighborhood. He told me, can you go back home, pick some clothes? We rushed the Dominion to a general hospital, Nakuru then. So I left the baby. I went to the house. I took some few clothes, then I came back. But when I was coming back, the boy had really changed, convulsed. The eyes started, changing the color. And we went direct to Nakuru General Hospital, straight to the casualty. I always say God works in very mysterious ways. After alighting from the car, I saw my sister. So I called Jane and it was like, what are you doing here? No, I'm here because my neighbor has a sick child. So we went, all of us, now to the ward. And when we went to the ward, my son was taken direct and to the oxygen. They started giving him oxygen. And after a few minutes, I saw the doctor going out. And I asked him, now because you're going out, how will I explain? No, I'm coming back. So I'm telling you, after a few minutes, not even half an hour, my son started vomiting things that were looking like clotted blood. And at that point, I was called by 2 sisters. And they asked me, Mama Dominion, you told us what happened to your baby. I explained about the 2 injections and blah, blah, blah. But I had a word like poisoning. And it was like, what? I really want to know. So they went to those offices. And within a few minutes, my son was gone. And by then I had alerted the dad. We were in the hospital. So even when he was arriving, my son was already gone. And it was not a good thing because I think my memory became so fresh on Sunday, the words that I heard from the mother. Then on Wednesday, my son is normal. So we gathered ourselves and we went home. And I can tell you, my dear, what I went through during that morning session when my son was in mortuary. It is something that I will never wish anyone to go through, not even my enemy. And I remember a lot happened because when my mom-in-law came, she did all sort of drama that you could even imagine. She was calling me names. She could sit on this big seat anawekelea miguu juu ya kiti, so everybody could come and it's like whatever she sees anaenda nje. And I remember to a point when our best couple called the mother and was like, ni nini hii unaulizanga Esther? What did Esther do to you? And I tell you, it was not easy, but finally the day came. We went and laid our son, and we came back home as normal. We were left with my hubby now. We encouraged ourselves because life have to move on.